the biggest troll of him all, Trundle. 5 mana 4/6 regeneration. When I'm summoned, create an Ice Pillar in hand. Ice Pillar being an 8 mana 0/8 vulnerable. Play, refill 8 mana, so you can play it for free. Play and round start, give the strongest enemy vulnerable. I think Trundle's insane. Great 5-drop, amazing stats, good value, and the longer he sticks on the board, he's just going to start buffing himself once he levels. Really powerful card. Currently seeing him played in the Asol ramp decks, which I've been playing a lot of. It's very powerful. I think Trundle's a 5-star card.
Oh, the hot takes. Jesus,
Wait, what?
it's too much.
That's a hot take to you? I don't want to hear your opinion.
Wait, Trundle is not 5 stars. Never
Trundle
in a
was
million years.
easy. It's like this is the first card I thought of when I was thinking of 5-star cards.
Really?
You can put Trundle in so many decks.
That's true.
But
So many decks.
He can just be like your random mid-game stabilizer.
Man, I agree. I was surprised by this card. I underestimated it. His level up condition, not his level up condition, his level up form is better than I thought it. I thought it would be very underwhelming, but now it's actually a good finisher in the right deck. But I think this is not a 5-star. I was surprised by this card, but I wouldn't give it 5-star. I would give it 4 stars. It's not that amazing, to be honest.
Sausage,
If you compare it to things like Sejuani, which you slap on in every Freljord card
right.
deck, it's like there's no comparison.
I like to think of cards where if I was going to go, say, all Demacia, and I had 3 spots left, would I fill that spot with a Trundle? And I think the answer is yes a lot of those times, right? So, considering he's a 5-drop with good stats and a really good keyword, he's just a better Garrett, right? So instead of a 5 mana 5/5, you get a 5 mana 4/6, which is more guaranteed to stay alive. He's easier to level up, and you get the Ice Pillar for free, which kind of acts like a Sejuani ability, where you can give something vulnerable each turn and hit it. Yeah, this card's insane. Really powerful. Sausage, what was your star count, mate?
I'm a little bit swayed by Peps, because when you compare this to Sejuani, it compares pretty evenly, maybe even a little bit worse, I would say. I still just think this is a really good stabilizer, because if you have a Trundle, your enemy's attacks just become super awkward.
Absolutely. Any final comments on this thing?
I think he's more synergistic than other stabilizers. I can see this being run in every deck, to be honest. In every Freljord deck, I can't see that. I think he's more synergistic with the Behold keyword.
Yep.
So yeah, I wouldn't give him 5-star, but I was fairly impressed by him. I think he's stronger than I thought, for sure.
Okay, great stuff. Next up, Faces of the Old One. 2 mana 0/2 round start. If you behold an 8+ cost card, get an extra mana gem this round. So quick take. I think that ramp, getting mana, is great when you have more of that card, right? So this card kind of pushes ramp over the edge where they can play 9+ ramp cards. So you can play Faces of the Old One turn 1, turn 2 you can play 2 of these or the Wording Stones, and it really puts you ahead in terms of mana. I think it's a really powerful card and helps push that archetype over the edge. I'd probably give it a 4 stars. 4 stars on this card.
Jesus, you... This is never a 4-star, come on.
Really? Okay.
If you play this on 2, it's because your hand is bricked, right?
Okay.
It's because you can't play your cards until turn 7 if this survives, right? I think this is good in tournaments if you're expecting a lot of Asol. I played this matchup 2 times today. Is insanely difficult to win, especially with Faces of the Old Ones, because it's hard to remove Faces of the Old Ones and Withing Stones all at the same time, right?
Right.
So I think this is a good tournament deck cards, but I will still give it 2. I think it's really good card.
2 stars. Wow. Okay. Sausage, what's your hot take, mate?
Yeah, I don't know. I want to see the the ramp archetype used differently, because I think the Freljord cards are basically carrying the Trundle Asol deck right now.
Absolutely.
So,
the whole early game is just Freljord stuff.
I think Trundle is also getting a disservice by mainly being only played in that deck. But yeah, Faces of the Old Gods. Yeah, I'm a bit surprised by it, because day one of my friends told me that like he thinks if you just ramp and you heal, like that's all you do, it's really strong.
Yeah.
And I didn't believe him. But I can kind of see it now with the Trundle Asol deck. Like if you just have a ridiculous amount of healing and you ramp, it's scary. So I will give this card 3 stars. I think it's an okay card that will find a home in like 1 or 2 decks, likely.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, we've already seen how strong the current Trundle Asol deck is, and this is like the key 2 drop in that. So we'll see if that deck sticks around in the meta. I guess it just depends on if Asol gets a nerf or not, but right now...
Asol is not getting a nerf.
No, Asol's not. We'll get to the card that's getting a nerf later, that's for sure. Alright, next up we have Troll Chant, 2 mana burst speed spell. Give an ally +2 health to give an enemy -2 attack this round. Who wants to start us off here? Shock?
This is so good. I thought this card was going to be really good and is even better than I thought it would be. So this is instant 5-star. It's a great versatile combat trick. If your deck is trying to run more values, you just slap this over Elixir.
Wow.
Easy. I would give this 5-star.
Sausage?
I will give it 4 stars. I think this is basically a way to run Elixir in your slower Freljord deck. Because most slower Freljord decks, like a slow mid-range or even a control Freljord deck, doesn't really want to run Elixir. But this gives you the Elixir effect on top of something defensive, so that makes it actually worth running. And yeah, that's how I see it, like Elixir for slower decks, and I will give it 4 stars for that reason.
I'm going to give this card 3 stars, and I'm gonna tell you why. So this card had so much hype before the expansion came out, but once the expansion came out, I have found this card to be incredibly underperforming. It's the 4-stat swing on burst speed, which is great, but you need to have a minion on the board to activate it. And even when you do, like, you're not really guaranteed to kill anything with it. You're just more protecting your stuff. And if you're protecting your stuff, I would rather the Elixir of Iron, because it costs half. It's half the cost, right? I think it's okay card, but I don't know if it's going to see play in every Freljord deck. Yeah, I think you either choose between this or the Iron or Elixir. They both pretty much do the same thing, but unlike Rat, it's not like the where the more of this kind of card, the better it gets. You'd never play both of them. You just kind of choose.
But the thing, you're comparing if you have to choose between Elixir, it means it's a really good card, because Elixir is a really good card, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I think Elixir is a 5-star as well, right?
Yeah, and that's really different. I rate Elixir 4-star, and that's why I rated this card 4 stars as well.
Yeah. I would rate Elixir 4 stars, and I would rate this 3 stars.
Okay. I don't think it's worse. I think it's like just as strong. It's just for different decks.
That's true.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's for different decks. Maybe
but, I mean,
in a Fiora deck.
When a card competes with a strong card in when Citra and Genevieve, right? When she was buffed.
Yeah.
When she was starting to be a choice between between Citra.
Yeah.
That's because Genevieve is a really good card, right?
Exactly.
Because now you have to choose between those two. And I think this is the same thing with Elixir. Now you have a choice, and if you have a choice between a new card and a good card,
Yeah.
it usually means the new card is a good card. It makes sense.
That makes total sense. I think the way that they differ is because Cytherea and Genevieve are both 6 costs, whereas Troll Chant is double the mana of Elixir. That's why I think it's not as good.
That's the difference. The main difference is you at least you're running one less card, or you're running the double value for 1 more mana, right?
Exactly.
So this normally could. It's not really like that, because you can give a unit +2 and another one in the other side -2. So it's a little bit more versatile. But this is basically you're paying 2 mana. You're using 2 elixirs in 1 card. So in deck building space, that's very important. Right. So
you're right.
You run more value with less cards, which is normally what more control-y, slower decks want to do.
For sure.
So yeah, I think what differs is not like Cytherea and Genevieve, because they have the same mana cost. Is more of the value between 1 mana or the curve out potential of 1 mana, or the value of 2. So I think that's the biggest difference. It's not really the mana cost, or is the mana cost? That's the biggest difference.
Man, that was an exciting take. Let's move on now to another 2-drop in Freljord. Troll Scavenger, 2 mana 1/3. When I'm summoned, if you behold an 8+ cost card, give me +3 attack. Something to keep in mind, that +3 attack is permanent. So if you do have that 8+ cost card, it is officially a 2 mana 4/3. Really good stats, but I think the card having 3 health means that it's just a little bit too weak. It trades with a lot of other 2-drops in the game, right? Like a 2 mana 3/2. Whereas if the stats had been swapped and it was a 2 mana 3/4, this card would be absolutely insane. I think you'll see it in some tempo decks. You might even play it in that Demacia deck that's looking for a good 2-drop. But ultimately, probably just rank this card 3 stars.
I think this card is even worse than Faces of the Old Ones. It's like, still, if you play this on 2, it's because your hand is bricked. And in the ramp mirror, in the ramp Trundle deck, when I was playing Asol, I saw Faces of the Old Ones. I was scared because it's actually a threat and it's a big problem. Like, I think Troll Scavenger is not even that big of a payoff. It's like a big payoff, but you're making your deck clunkier just to have a 4/3 on curve, right? So I think this card is not good. I will give it a 2 as well.
2 stars, okay. And Sausage?
Yeah, I think there would need to be some like not ramp behold deck for this to be okay. And if that existed, I would give it 3 stars, honestly, but until somebody builds a deck like that and it actually functions, I will just give this 2 stars. It has a bit of potential, but it's pretty underwhelming right now.
Right on. So 2, 2, and 3 on the stars. Let's move on now to 3 mana burst speed spell, Call of the Wild. For the top 4 cards in your deck, draw each Yeti, Poro, and Elnuk, then shuffle the rest into your deck. I can't think of a single deck in the meta right now that would utilize this effectively. This is a one mana card.
When you said meta, this card is running away. Like, this is
like what is a meta?
Yeah. So the problem with this card is Poros are really synergistic. Yetis are really synergistic, and Elnuks are really synergistic.
Yep.
And if you play to get full value, you have to play Yetis, Poros, and Elnuks, which means Poros next get worse. Elnuks counterfeit copies shenanigans get worse, and Yeti stuff shuffle into your deck gets worse. So yeah, I think this card is a complete meme to get like full value. And then if you run each of those archetypes separate, I don't like. If you look at how many Yetis there are not too many, so that this card is consistent.
Exactly.
Poros, there's not like a big like a power that you get and it's like game winning.
Exactly.
Or
Right.
actually, and then Elnox, you want them to stay in the deck, so yeah, I don't think this is good.
Sausage?
I really want to like this card because, like, when this card hits, it's absolutely crazy.
Yeah,
Even
right.
if this draws you 2, it's perfectly fine. If it draws you 3, it's absurd. The issue is you can't main deck too many. Basically, what this card wants to do is this card wants to make Freljord Allegiance playable through combining Poros and Yetis a bit.
Right.
However, I don't think that's really possible.
Not yet.
I really want to rate this 3 stars because when I saw this, I thought it was like 1-star total garbage, right? When I saw it on the release, but I thought about it a bit, and this card can be absolutely crazy.
Yeah, it can be insane.
It needs Freljord Allegiance to be playable for this to be a good card. And I'm just gonna give it 2 stars.
Legend.
It's somewhere along the line, like when they keep printing more and more Poros, Yetis, or maybe even a new Elmuk, like this card will become insane, I think. But it will take like half a year probably before this card.
Yeah, it's gonna take some time. Like you're right. It needs to draw at least 2 cards to be worth it. And you know, if you just draw a 1-mana 1/1 Poro and an Elnuk, 4-mana 4/5 Elnuk, it's garbage, right? You don't want to be playing those cards in your deck. So we need a good Elnuk, a good Poro, and the Yetis are okay. You don't mind drawing the Yetis.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
I think this card is just Freljord Allegiance support. A deck that is total trash right now. So,
All right.
3 stars.
If you're watching from YouTube, be sure to keep your eyes open for Sausage's mono Freljord deck that plays Call of the Wild. Alright, moving on now. Trollravager, 4-mana 3/5. When unsummoned, if you behold an 8+ cost card, grant me regeneration. Solid stats, good keyword. I think that, like, if you could buff this card after playing it, it's probably really good. Just a solid minion. Probably not making any waves in the meta, but like you don't mind playing this on turn 4. If you play it and you don't get the regeneration, it's pretty bad. But if you do get the regeneration, then it starts killing stuff for free. It's harder for your opponent to attack, which is nice. I'd probably just give this card 3 stars.
I like this from the Beholds. Besides like Auger of the Old Ones, this is the best one. It's like the you have drawn 2 more cards than the 2 drops, right?
Right.
So even if your if you are running a more greedier list, you want to kick those expensive cards out of your hand. But if you want, like after 3 draws, no, actually 4 draws, you get it, which in a greedier deck it's kind of likely you get some value out of it, and I think this card is pretty good even without the regeneration. I think it's not great. You're sad if you don't get it, but in some situations it will be enough. So I think this is a 3-star. Yeah, it's probably the best Behold besides the one that we will
come up to next.
Yeah, I want to give it more than 3 stars only because I rated Faces of the Old Gods 3 stars, and I think this card is better, but Face has a deck already and Trollravager doesn't have a deck yet, so... Yeah, it's just a solid unit, it's nothing crazy. 3 stars.
Yeah, nice. Alright, I'm excited about this card. 6-mana 5/5, Auger of the Old Ones. Overwhelm and Regeneration. Play if you behold an 8+ cost card, grant an ally Overwhelm and Regeneration. Sausage, would you like to go first, mate?
Yeah. So my opinion from a few days ago would probably greatly upset you. Because then I would have told you the 3-star card that it's just like, okay, it's not that impressive.
I just had a heart attack. I can't believe it.
I think it's... I wonder if this is at a competitive level or not. It definitely could be.
Could be!
It again needs a home, but it's not that hard to find a home for this guy. So...
Did you just say it could be competitively viable? Bruh.
Yeah, I haven't seen a competitive deck yet that ranks this. But like new swing Freljord decks have been trying it out. Some people testing it out with Radiant Guardian. And yeah, I'll rate it 4 stars. I think it will find a home within a week or 2. Probably.
Alright. A card that gives something permanent overwhelm and regeneration. Good stats, good keywords on the body itself. Absolutely insane. Being a 6-drop's really good because you can combo it with any other of the 5 drops in the game. Trundle, Garen, Radiant Guardian, the dragon that we talked about in Demacia. Combining all those keywords is absolutely nuts. You can also combo it. I play this card as a 3-of in my Asol Trundle deck, right? Giving all the big dragons and Aurelion Sol Regenerator and Overwhelm. Insane! This card, 5 stars. It's going to be 5 stars until it gets nerfed.
I'm not sure if it's 5 stars or if it's getting nerfed, but I agree. This card is like the payoff of playing Behold, like it's the payoff of playing Trundle, right? I thought Trundle would only be played with Auger, but it's definitely not the case. But I think this is still like in the Behold archetype is like when you get to actually get the rewards of playing Trundle or playing greedy decks, and yeah, I think this card is probably a 3-star still, but a really solid card.
Wow! You guys blowing my mind right now with these star calls. Right.
It's just like in the Behold archetype, almost everything has regen. Like,
yeah, that's the big problem. Because if you play, like, sorry.
No. And
the best combo that I.
Fuck, my bad. Okay, your turn. I'm just gonna shut up.
Okay. What I was going to say, the biggest combo that I've seen that I've heard is Croc on 4, Trundle on 5, Auger on 6. Besides that, there's like.
It's amazing.
Yeah, there's not a lot of If you play Trundle on 5 and Auger on 6, there's not a lot of stuff you actually want to buff, right?
Right.
So yeah.
Okay.
That's the problem as well.
Man, that sounds awesome. Croc on turn 4. I'm gonna try that. All right. Now we're moving on to the card that single-handedly, I think, pushes Trundle Asol over the edge. Revitalizing Roar, 7-mana slow spell. Pick a unit in your hand to reveal. Heal your Nexus by its power. Enlightened, reduce its cost to 0. This card's absolutely insane. It gives you so much healing in the deck, a 7-mana heal 10. And then once you get to turn 10, having it enlightened makes this card insane. Because you can do crazy things like Revitalizing Roar, make your Aurelion Sol 0 mana, and then play the Aurelion Sol, and then play Auger of the Old Ones to buff it with the Overwhelm and the Regenerator. Or you can just support them with any list of spells, because now you actually have mana to use it. Yeah, this card's absolutely nuts, and I think it's going to be getting nerfed for sure. What do you guys think? What do you guys think on this card?
You're overestimating okay cards, like
nah.
In Freljord card, the only card that's I think it's insane is Chant, and you're saying here that Revitalizing Roar is getting nerfed. Like
absolutely,
I don't get that.
This card pushes Asol over the edge. It's absolutely insane Aurelion Sol synergy.
I wanna actually slap you.
Oh,
okay, so first of all, I'm not a believer of Trundle Asol. I feel like Trundle Asol is a deck that does what Karma Ezreal does, but not as well. It basically beats other control decks by just being way greedier than them. It's the most greedy control deck you can play, basically. And it's gonna beat up any other control deck. But you can just play Karma Ezreal and beat up any super slow control deck and like actually 100% beat them. Instead of still being able to miss your Asol the entire game.
So this is what I've been practicing a lot with, is the Karma Ez versus Asol variant. And what I found is that Karma Karma Ez wins that matchup if the Aurelian Soul deck doesn't do a big Aurelian Soul on turn 10, right? Because then otherwise you give them the chance to do like a Karma combo. So if you can speed it up, like get a bunch of ramp and then use like Revitalizing Roar to discount the Asol and play it and combo it with other stuff, then Karma Ez has 0 answers to that. But if the Karma Ez is able to successfully remove everything that the Asol player plays and slow them down and do ping damage, then they're favored. But dude, this card's insane. This card's actually insane.
Anyway, back to the topic. My opinion on the card, I don't like it. I think it's pretty much a meme. In the ramp heal archetype, even then, no. I don't think Asol should be in this deck, like I've said before, and I'll give it 2 stars. It's not total garbage. It's playable.
Wow. What's your
like card to mess around with? But
Shock? What's your
It's
star
like a
rating?
win more button, right? It's just a win more button, and I feel like normally win more buttons are not too strong, right? Normally.
I feel like this card compares pretty evenly to the Ionia spell that heals you 7 and draws a card.
Yep.
Honestly.
I agree.
It's a little bit better than that one, but not much better.
4 stars.
Yep.
4 stars for this card.
I give it 3. It's okay.
Wow.
2. 2 stars.
Oh my god.
I agree with Sausage.
Guys, I can't handle this right now. My
It's
heart,
like
my heart.
it's okay in Ace with Asol, and even then it's.
Wow.
I haven't tested the deck too much, so I might be underestimating this card, but still, I already played a lot against Troll and Ramp Asol, and I think this card doesn't change too much in the matchup. What changes more is the Ramp, so.
Yeah,
I
something
think
else
this
to
card.
keep in mind with me is I've basically only played aggro this season, so I haven't messed around with I haven't even crafted this card yet.
See, I have been playing so much Trundle Asol, and that is like one of the best cards in the deck.
I've been playing against it, and I've been smacking them with Doom Beast.
Yeah, but you haven't been playing against me, mate. I'll tell you what, I will take both of you down after this YouTube video, and I will do it playing Trundle Asol.
I could probably play against you with Doom Beast because it's a really cheap deck to make on NA.
Hell yeah.
Actually, we were talking about Sausage's Doom Beast deck, and he was saying like he beats my deck every time, and I beat his deck every time. So yeah,
okay, but that's because you're running like you are running Allegiance, but you're running like Fresh with also a lot more healing. Like you run the broad pack, dude.
Yeah,
but
how dare you? How dare you play a good deck?
Broadback was a recent ad. I don't think I need Broadback to win the matchup.
Anyway,
this is so funny.
Yeah, whatever.
You guys are actually hilarious. Alright, so moving on now. 8 mana slow spell Icequake. Give all units -3, -0. Deal 3 to all units. Man, I'm getting nervous because I'm ready for you guys to say that this is a 5-star card, but it's not. This is a
Jesus!
two-star.
I was about to say I underestimated this card. This card is better than I thought, and then you come out with the 5-star. Jesus!
No, I said you guys are gonna say 5-star. I'm saying 2-star. It's not great. It affects your board. If the things are too big, like an Asol or the big dragons, then the -3 attack doesn't do anything, and the 3 damage doesn't do anything. It's good against like Demacia decks or things that go wide really quickly, but 8 mana is way too slow. Yeah, this card's not great. The only reason it sees play is because it's Trundle's spell.
I don't agree. Actually, I think this card is better than I thought. Especially in this meta where the counter is Demacia because it beats Asol, so this actually gives a good odds against those decks. If you play like War Mothers, I saw Ellen playing this card a lot. It's actually better than I thought. And in Trundle decks, you don't want to use this card to be aggressive, so the -3 actually normally helps you. Like, this is just to stabilize the board. It's not really to, oh, you have no board and now I attack, right? So I think this is a really good card. I wouldn't give it 4. I would give it like a 3. It's a pretty solid card, yeah.
Sausage?
Yeah. So the way I see this card is it's a really bad Avalanche.
Yeah.
This Avalanche is an absolutely crazy card. Like, I think Avalanche is just... It single-handedly makes, like, slow Freljord decks without Shadow Walls viable. So...
Okay.
Icequake surprised me a lot, yeah. I thought this was gonna be garbage. Turns out it's not. Can I start giving out half stars yet?
Dude, if you want to give half stars, go ahead, but...
Yeah, I'm gonna rate this 3.5, because
2.5.
I don't want to say competitively viable, but I think even just like a really bad Avalanche is good, because you really do just want more Avalanches in your slow Freljord deck. So I'm gonna give this 3.5 stars. It's like almost competitively viable. It might be. May change my mind later, but yeah.
And you get the super cool Trundle like voice line where he says Mega Avalanche. That's pretty cool.
Mega Avalanche. I haven't seen that. But
really?
It's because
it's so cool.
It's because I don't play this garbage chart.
This card is so good, especially against like aggro Lulu and aggro Scots. It's like so good.
Okay, yeah, I can see it's not bad in that matchup.
Yeah. And that's like half of the meta, especially in EU. That's like all that people are playing.
Avalanche take care of them too. Alright, moving on to the last card in Freljord, Auger the Ancient. 8 mana 7/7 Challenger and Regenerator. Sausage, do you want to start us off here, mate?
I wanted to love this card. The sad part is I haven't even seen anybody experiment with this yet, and I haven't experimented with myself either. So I don't feel like I can give a really strong opinion, but fortunately I'm just gonna have to give my boy 2 stars. I think he has a little bit of potential, and just nobody has really tested it yet, but
yeah.
I also am not convinced that he's very good right now, so... In theory, if you ramp this out, or if you cheat this out early some way, it just starts cleaning up the entire enemy board.
Right.
But I haven't seen it happen yet.
This is really good with War Mothers. I saw Ellen test this deck out, and like the 2 cards that he played that I was expecting to be complete trash is Icequake and Auger. And in that War Mothers deck that he built, these cards are actually really, really good.
Yeah.
Like Auger with double hard squad or 1 hard squad is already really strong, and those 2 keywords help stabilize the board. I was thinking this card will be very underwhelming, but I was fairly impressed as well. So I would give this 3 stars. I don't think it's like what's making War Mothers OP. I think Acequake is helping that more, but I think this card is very solid, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like the keywords that have combo really nicely together, the stats are okay. I think this is more so an expeditions card. It's really good in that kind of format, but in ranked or in tournament formats, there's just so many other better 8-drops, I think. Like Tiana Crowdguard gives you the rally effect, or the new dragon in Targon that stuns 2 things every turn. Compared to cards like that, Auger just seems underwhelming to me. I'm gonna have to give it 2 stars, unfortunately, but I'm with Sausage when I was excited for this card and I thought it might see some experimentation, and I'm definitely gonna try out the War Mothers variant because that just sounds like a bloody good time. But yeah, it's not a great 8-drop.
I mean, the 2 decks that play this card, the only deck that plays this card is not in Targon in the Demacia, so yeah, I think that's a great point.
Sure.